What's up, Barbarians? The patch notes for the PTR of Season 10 are here, and the Barbarian is just getting buffs. This is amazing. I am super excited for this. Unfortunately, as you will see, Rend is not getting the buff that it needs. It does get a buff in various ways, but the actual skill itself still needs a little bit of love. Let's go over some Barbarian changes. Our new unique item is a one-handed weapon. And this is going to be perfect for all core skill builds. Clearly for builds that overpower, considering it's going to have ranks to Warpath and ranks to core skill. And it reads, you gain 3 to 5 multiplicative increased damage from each damaging skill you have equipped. An additional 6 to 10% for 15 seconds when each of those skills is used. So for my Rend Rupture build, there are 4 damaging skills, which would give us a 20% multiplier, and we do use 3 of them quite commonly, which could be another 30% multiplier. Very cool looking weapon, very excited to give that a try in the PTR. Now let's go over some class specific changes. First off, our weapon expertise. Two-handed sword now removes the requirement to kill an enemy to get the 30% increased bleed damage. This is a great change. With bleeding builds, this might be the new go-to instead of the two-handed axe. For kick, the range increase is doubled from 1.5 to 3 meters. Enhanced kick now reduces cooldown of mobility skills by 5 seconds per enemy kicked. That's really cool. This could be used with leap or charge. Unconstrained gets a nice buff. Reduced requirement to be from 65% health to being not healthy. So basically anything below 80% health. Unbridled rage gets a small buff of 45 to 50. That's needed. The new change to Walking Arsenal is pretty cool. I really like this. Is that while all 3 bonuses are active, we now gain Unstoppable and have a 45% increase in attack speed. Versus the old one, it gave us a 25% crowd control duration and attack speed. I really want to use my Iron Maelstrom build again. I hope it's not dead, but I don't know if this will be enough to bring it back. Battle Mad aspect gets a buff from 20 to 40 to 30 to 60. Ancestral Forces, our Hammer of the Ancient build, is now getting quite the buff. 5 to 25 to 30 to 60. I feel core skills are going to be back on the menu. Wanton's Rupture is going to be a must for bleed. Double your Rupture skewer radius. Amazing. Wonder how that will work with Fields of Crimson. And all bleed durations are increased by 30 to 60%. Bleeding duration, that's huge. So Flay will still be amazing. It'll just get more amazing. And Rend hopefully will be viable, especially with our new unique sword. And a Rupture only build that I did in Season 7, I believe, will also be viable. We also have some changes to some unique items. Ariat's Bearing. They doubled the Dust Devil damage. Battle Trance is also seeing some changes. Damage reduction changed to % to strength. That's a great change. The bonus ranks to Duelist is now changed to Max Fury. That is also great, as you only want to use this with the Magnum Opus. Then increase Frenzy ranks from 2 to 3 to 4 to 6. That is all great changes for the Battle Trance, but we still need a small change to the actual unique effect of Battle Trance. It needs to work more with Frenzy instead of also other core skills, but this is a step in the right direction. This is amazing. The Hellhammer gets a change, and we might be able to play a spam Upheaval build. Upheaval deals 50 to 70% increased damage to burning enemies, and also ignites the ground burning enemies for additional 1,000 to 1,600 damage over 4 seconds. I like this change. Upheaval should be worth playing in Season 10. This is something I definitely want to try in the PTR. Next, we have the Flawless Technique Legendary Node. Consecutively attacking with the same weapon increases your critical strike chance by 15% for 4 seconds. That is weak. Now it does that, and your critical strike damage is increased by 30% multiplicative for 4 seconds. That's a decent change, but I don't think that's enough. A step in the right direction, but still needs more work. Next, the Carnage Legendary Node also got a buff. First, Berserking now just gives you 15% attack speed. Kinda lame. Now it grants 15% attack speed and you deal 30% increased fire and physical damage. That's cool because we want to pair this with the Ugly Bastard Helmet. This is going to be a good change, but will it be enough? We'll see. Our Brash Paragon Node, change fire resistance to resistance to all elements. Definitely needed. We need more ways to get resistance to all on our Paragon board. Same with the Bloodbath Rare Node. Change from fire resistance to resistance to all elements. Great changes. Overall, the changes for Barbarian in Season 10 look good. We have core skills getting buffed. They also buffed core skills in Season 9. The new sword, couple Paragon nodes. This is all great news. On a personal note, I really wish they would bump up Rend just a little bit more so it could be more viable. Other than that, these notes look great. I'm very excited to try what happens in Season 10 for the PTR. The Season 10 theme powers, or they're calling them perks, also look amazing. Let's go over a couple of those. They are reworking Infernal Hordes, and we won't know until the PTR how good they are, but in theory, this should be a great rework where you don't just want to get the Hellborn. Hopefully all the other options are good as well. The theme looks interesting with Chaos and the Chaos armor. Season 10 looks very exciting. There is going to be a new boss to fight in the Infernal Hordes if you have enough ether, named Bartok. This guy right here is Bartok, and apparently we have to dodge attacks and teleport around in order to not be one-shotted by his attacks. This will also be interesting trying the PTR. Also with Season 10, we are getting Chaos Armor. This is a really unique and interesting way to spice up the game, and I think it's great. I want to see how this works in the PTR as well. In theory, if done well, this should be really fun to play with. This will turn unique items that aren't found on armor into armor pieces and roll a higher multiplier. So the example shown here is the Banished Lord's Talisman could be a pair of gloves, and you could put something else on your amulet spot. A very unique idea. I want to see how it works. I think there could be some really cool builds because there are some really good uniques with higher multipliers would be absolutely amazing. This will be fun to play with. So the list of Barbarian specific Chaos uniques are as such. These ones right here. So Battle Trance could go on boots, gloves, anywhere. Kind of interesting how they do already have the Gore's grips on the gloves, but they're still here as well. Same with like the hooves of the Mountain God. Yet I don't see Twin Strikes, which is already a pair of gloves, not on this list. I also don't see the Hellhammer on this list, but Overkill is. Interesting. I'm curious how they decided to make what goes on the Chaos list and what doesn't. But one that is on the list is the Ring of the Ravenous. If I get a Chaos unique of Ring of the Ravenous with a maxed Rend duration, that could be really cool to use. Let's see if I can get that in the PTR. Part of Season 10 with the Season of Chaos will be Chaos Rifts. Chaos Rifts are going to happen in the open world like Helltide and also in Nightmare Dungeons. What's going to happen is you're going to open a Nightmare Dungeon or be leveling in Helltide, and a Chaos Rift with Chaos Monsters are going to appear, and the Chaos Rift is going to be some sort of level that we get to play and we get to try and see what's in there. Then we have the new Chaos perk system. What I really like about this is you're going to have 3 rare, magic, legendary, and unique effects that are all generic. And then one of the 4, because you see there's 4 here, is going to be class specific. The class specific unique one for Barbarian is amazing. And it's going to be a must pick for myself. I can't wait to get that one. This is the class specific unique Chaos power for Season 10. Single-Minded Fury. If you only have one arsenal weapon type equipped, gain the following. 20 to 40% overpower chance. Amazing. 100 to 200% increase bleed duration. That's huge. 100 to 200%. In my last video of the Rend, we had a 13-second Rend duration. At 100%, that 13 goes to 26. 200%? It goes to 39 seconds. That is a massive, massive, massive multiplier. Then 50 to 100% maximum life, amazing. 50 to 100% increase in damage. This is going to be amazing for the bleed build. With Flay and Rend, we use dual wield, and we use dual wield for all our skills. This fits perfectly for my bleeding builds. I am super excited to try this out on the PTR. This is the thing I am most excited for. And that is all that is covered for Barbarian and for Season 10 in the PTR patch notes. There are some changes to some layer bosses, to some loot drops, but overall, we need to see what's going to happen for the start of Season 10. I am very excited to try out Upheaval, Rend, Flay, Rupture. I want to try the new Wanton's Rupture. This might be Season of the Bleed. Overall, Season 10, in my eyes, looks very exciting, very promising. This looks like a super fun season, and I think bleed builds are going to be on top, so I'm very excited for that as well. PTR starts on Tuesday. I'm excited to give that a try and test out some things and see what I can find. I'll have some more videos on the PTR next week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.